Okay, we're about to dive into it here. No holds barred. I want to have a quick discussion with you, though, first about understanding the different layout options or different layout choices that we have available to us. So we are quickly headed down the road to obviously building a page layout. And what I'm going to do here with you is I'm going to show you how to build a contemporary page layout that is driven by CSS that makes use of div elements or div tags. And this is going to make more and more sense as we actually start building it. At this point, I want to simply explain the different choices that we have available to us when we're building our web layouts. Now, there are three choices that we have available. We have what's referred to as fixed layouts, we have flexible layouts, and we have what's referred to as combo layouts. So let's address each one at a time here. So first of all, fixed layouts. Now with a fixed layout, the overall layout, including all of the layout components or the internal layout components, are all comprised of fixed pixel values or fixed widths, right? So in other words, your web layout or your page layout is not going to expand and contract. It's not going to be flexible in any way at all. So in other words, if the visitor to your website resizes their browser window, your layout is going to remain static or fixed. In fact, static is another term for a fixed layout. So in other words, your layout may wind up breaking down a little bit if there isn't enough room inside the browser window to display the entire layout, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, flexible layouts. A flexible layout is a layout where the entire layout or the entire page design that you've developed is going to expand and contract. So sort of the opposite of a fixed layout. It's going to expand and contract depending on the size of the browser window. Have you ever been on a website where when you resize the browser window, the entire layout, the entire website expands and contracts along with the browser window? That's what I'm talking about here. So all of the content inside the layout is simply going to reflow and readjust whenever the layout is scaled, right? Sometimes flexible layouts are also referred to as liquid layouts, right? Now, there's some advantages to flexible layouts as well. Again, there's always pros and cons with everything, right? I come from a traditional print design background, and I really don't like the idea of all of my content reflowing and readjusting. I've worked hard to lay things out exactly how I want, and I don't want them moving around on me, right? And of course, from a developer's standpoint, it's impossible to know exactly how all of that content is going to reflow inside a flexible layout, right? Now, the third option, a combo layout. What a combo layout is a combination of both fixed and flexible. Now, this is a layout where some parts of the layout are going to be flexible, for example, like the main content area, while other areas of the layout have a fixed width, like a menu. And you know, I have a perfect example for you of a combo layout, Wikipedia. If you go to Wikipedia and try resizing your browser window, you'll find that the main content area is flexible. It's going to scale wider and narrower, but the main menu over on the left-hand side is going to remain fixed, right? So again, we're combining the aspects of a fixed layout and the aspects of a flexible layout inside a combo layout. That's how that works. Okay. Now, I hope all of this makes sense. If it doesn't, you know, don't get hung up on it or anything like that. I'm simply, again, making you aware of what's possible here. Now, the example that I'm going to give you and the example that we're going to work through together is going to be a fixed layout, the first option. So I'm going to show you how to build a fixed layout using CSS and div elements. I hope you're up for it. So let's check it out.